Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shannon Margaret B, and I have a reading vlog for you today. This is me in the future just coming to say hi. I don't know if I ever introduced what books I was reading in this vlog in the beginning, so in case I did not, I am going to be reading Laura Dave and a Megan Goldin book. I've been enjoying reading authors back to back, so I'm excited to read the Laura Dave books back to back. So I'll be reading The Divorce Party. I will also be reading The First Husband. And I've read another book by Megan Goldin, The Night Swim, which I will give you a review for at the end of this, but I'm excited that I was able to thrift Dark Corners by her. I had also read The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave and really enjoyed it, so I will have my review for this one at the end as well. If you want to skip to the reviews, there will be timestamps below, but if you want to watch the vlog, enjoy! I am already about halfway through Dark Corners. I am listening to the audiobook for a majority of it because I love the podcast element, so it follows the same podcaster from The Night Swim. So I'll have a review for The Night Swim at the end of this video as well. I absolutely loved The Night Swim. It was such an interesting story. It's a podcaster picks up the story and tries to find like the truth for herself. And the same kind of goes with this one, except this one she's like reached out to. And I feel like they have more like fun with the podcast element, and listening to it is just so cool. I literally feel like I'm listening to like a Netflix documentary. It is so good so far. Also, I thrifted like both of these copies, and I just think it's funny. I ended up with both Book of the Month copies. This is a momentous occasion because we are sitting at my crafting table for the first time, so it's interesting to see like what my background is now. The table is amazing. It literally just pops out and you have a crafting table, and then when you don't really need it, you can just fold it down and it's just like a storage unit, and there's a lot of storage in it as well. So you can go to my office remodel video to see that, but this is me in the past. So eventually there is going to be a bookshelf here. 8:30 and I logged off work around 8 and hopped right into the shower, and now I'm ready to just relax before another really long day tomorrow. But I am on chapter 39. It's about 175 pages in of Dark Corners. So I don't know if I explained it well before, but the FBI has a missing influencer who was like brutally killed. So they asked Rachel to come in and help solve the case. So far, I'm really liking it. I love the audiobook, as I mentioned earlier. The only thing is it is a little gruesome, but if you saw my Karen Slaughter vlog, it's not nearly as bad as False Witness or Pretty Girls. Oh my gosh, you can hear my rant about that in my Karen Slaughter vlog. I really just want to like do something with my hands and not look at a screen, so I'm going to listen to the audiobook for a little bit, and then I'm actually going to hop onto my recliner, which is behind me, which I got like a new pillow and blanket for it. I moved it so it's better like juju in the room, and I can't wait to read on it for the first time. I haven't even read on it yet. This is the last bookmark I have. I bought a pack of 3 of them, and they have been so fun to do. If you want to see a finished one, this is one of the ones that I finished. Actually, my Frederick Bachman vlog, I finished this. So it's really fun because it's like a little like attainable fun project. And I'm not like in the mood to knit right now. So this is really what's gonna get me right now. It is the next day, and it is about 5:15, and I still have a couple hours left of work, but I cannot stop thinking about this book, Dark Corners. I think it's interesting because it starts off with like the point of view of who you kind of suspect might be the killer, and I don't really think that that's like a spoiler. I think it's just to be expected. Like you start off and you're in the point of view of someone who's like pretty scary and creepy. It kind of goes through 3 different points of view. So you have the main podcaster, Rachel Crawl, and then you have the FBI investigator, who's Joe Menendez or something. And then you're following like this interesting like Uber driver taxi guy, and like his thoughts on his passengers that get into his car. And like obviously it's very like creepy throughout. There's definitely creepy undertone, but I can't figure it out. Like I think it's like one of those things where it's like obvious what's supposed to happen. I don't really know like how Megan Goldin is gonna get you there. There's a lot going on, and I had to like forcibly stop myself from reading last night. Like that is how much I'm enjoying it. I'm on chapter 58, page 270, and I think it's only like 340 pages. So I have about 70 pages left and I can't wait to finish this tonight. I kept raving about the audiobook, but I really did also enjoy tangibly reading it. It was so much fun to still flip through and read it also because it reads so fast because the chapters are so short, which I love when you have like short chapters, different POVs, and it's like a thriller. I think it makes it so much more interesting to get there. It's really fun the way that it's written. I personally don't remember Night Swim being written like this, but maybe it was, and I just need to reread it. I just know that I loved Night Swim. So I think I'm gonna log off in about 3 hours, around like 8:15 again, and eat and shower and get back to reading because I really want to know what happens. It's the next day. It is Wednesday. I'm sitting in traffic going into the office. I usually don't go in on Wednesdays, but we have to take out the intern that just signed on with us and also like take out our intern that we have right now because I think her internship's almost done. It is such a busy week of work, so I'm like, I wish it wasn't this week. I wish it was a different week so I could like enjoy it more and hang out. Anyway, last night I finished our corners and I'll have like a proper synopsis and review at the end of this when I review the Night Swim as well. But yeah, I loved it. I don't know, I think because I had heard such mixed reviews, I went in with like no expectations. Like I was like, I don't think it's gonna be as good as the Night Swim, and I honestly think it was on par with the Night Swim. There was a twist, which I didn't see. It was like, I thought I had figured that twist out in the middle of the book and I completely forgot. And then when the twist was like revealed at the end, like I forgot and I did have it, but like I didn't remember. So it's just kind of fun to like still be surprised. And then I read like 40 pages of The First Husband and I'm like enjoying it. I think because I read The Last Thing He Told Me. I had thought that this was going to be like another domestic thriller type book, and it's not at all. Really fast, and it's only like 240 pages, so I only have like 200 pages left. I do have the audiobook from Libby, which I might listen to on my drive home. I really like her writing. It's like very quick and fun, and like, I don't know, it's going well. It is the next day. It is Thursday, and it is Thursday afternoon, and I have an update on The First Husband by Laura Dave. I really like it. There's some moments where it's like a little far-fetched and silly, but I think if you can get past those, it's really such a quick read. I'm already halfway through. I thought it was interesting, like the meditation, I guess, on like quick love, first love, like all of that is like all talked about in here, and I think it's really interesting as like someone who is getting married this year. But I'm hoping to get off work, knock on wood, at a normal time tonight. I would really love to build the bookshelf here. I will check in with you probably when I finish The First Husband, and I really don't know where the book is gonna go. I'm mad because there's part of the synopsis that like actually hasn't even happened yet, and I'm like, wow, you like spoiled the whole premise. But I guess it was like to be expected. I don't know, but if you're gonna go into this book, don't read the entire synopsis. I'm also like dying that I thought that this was a full thriller and it was about like the first husband, and then like when I first picked this book out at the store, I just knew that I liked The Last Thing He Told Me. And I think it's kind of funny because when I heard the title, I was like, oh, I guess she like killed all her husbands. Like I was thinking of like My Sister the Serial Killer. Friday, it is the next day. So last night I finished The First Husband by Laura Dave, and I'll have a proper review at the end, but I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. And then I actually sat here for so long last night reading The Divorce Party. I really love the setup of characters in this one. This book is dual perspective, so it's Maggie and it's Gwen. So Maggie's in her 30s and she's going to be married soon to Nate, and Nate's parents are the ones throwing the divorce party, Montauk. And I guess it's like a normal thing out there to have a divorce party when you decide to get divorced, and it's supposed to be amicable, but there's definitely a lot going on under the surface in this book. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it so far. I definitely just love Laura Dave's writing style. I find it like very relatable and very easy to read. So I've been enjoying this. I am about to build my next bookshelf so that I can finish my office remodel. So while I do that, I think I'm going to finish The Divorce Party because I have it on audio, and I think based on the pages I have left, I have about only like 2 hours left of listening. So I'm gonna listen to that and build my bookcase, and I will check in with you. First book review I have is for The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. This was published in 2020 and is 341 pages. So this book follows Rachel Kroll, who is a famous true crime podcaster, and she decides to go to this small town to cover a case that's going on. There are trigger warnings in this book for sexual assault, so just as a heads up if that's something that you try to stay away from. In a similar vein to Beartown, the star athlete is accused of raping the police chief's daughter, and it kind of, since it is such a small town, it kind of throws the town into a loop and creates division amongst the town. Although Rachel Kroll is there to cover the case, she's also there for her own case, so it gives you the two timelines, and it is really fast and quick to read. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because reading it physically or audio, both were phenomenal. The book moves so fast. I am very impartial to courtroom books. They are my absolute favorite, and I loved how the trial was done in this book. The next book is the one I read in the vlog, which is For Dark Corners by Megan Goldin. This book was published in 2023, so it's a little bit newer, and it is 343 pages. Follows Rachel Kroll on another case, and I really do hope that Megan Goldin continues the Rachel Kroll cases because I think the character that she's created is really fun and dynamic to follow. The case this time is an influencer gone missing, and at the same time there's a convict getting released from jail, and he is a suspect in the killing of a string of women. So the police are trying to do everything they can to find the influencer, but also to figure out if this convict is actually the killer before he gets out. This one is a little different because the FBI does reach out to Rachel to come cover the trial, so there is that like working together element of the FBI and Rachel, which makes it more fun to read. The story ends up taking her to an influencer convention, and that's where a bulk of the story takes place, and that was also really fun to read about. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars because when I was away from it, when I was working or doing other things, I felt like I was thinking about it and trying to figure out in my head what is going on and how the heck it's gonna end. So since finishing it, I feel like I've thought about this book pretty often, and that's usually a good indicator of a good book. Moving on to Laura Dave, the next review is for The Last Thing He Told Me. This book was published in 2021 and is 307 pages. Laura Dave's books, I've noticed, like tend to go towards a lighter page count, which is really nice if you're looking for just a light, like weekend quick read and not something that's going to take you forever. This book starts with a bang with a husband going missing and giving his new wife a note that says protect her and his daughter. There's also financial issues going on with the firm that he's a part of, and he essentially just disappears into thin air. This book feels a lot like an adventure book, having the mother and the daughter kind of team up to figure out what the heck happened to him and going to all these different places to try to figure it out. I gave this book 3.5 out of 5. I would call it kind of like a popcorn thriller that you can get through really quickly. Having read now a few of Laura Dave's books, it makes sense how she's able to get the family dynamic so spot on, and I did enjoy the stepmom and daughter relationship. I couldn't give it really a higher rating just because I did think some of the twists were a little funky, and like the adventure part went a little too far-fetched for me, but that's just an issue that I have. The next book is The First Husband by Laura Dave. This was published in 2011 and is 260 pages. This book follows our main character Annie, and she finds out that the man she thought she was going to marry wants to take a break and step away from their relationship, but very quickly she becomes embroiled with someone else and married and whisked away into like a very new life and has to decide if she wants to go back to her old life. I gave this book 4 out of 5 because I really did like the storyline, and I felt like the romance aspects were very relatable and very real. I think Laura Dave represented like relationships in life in a really interesting way, in a very quick-witted way that makes it more enjoyable to read. If you liked the book One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I really do think you would enjoy The First Husband. The last review is for The Divorce Party by Laura Daves. So this book was published in 2007 and is 256 pages. This book is about parents who decide to get a divorce and, as the title says, have a divorce party out in the Hamptons. Use this party as a way to say they're amicably splitting and saying goodbye to their marriage. This book is fun because we have one storyline of the mother who is getting divorced and also the son's soon-to-be wife's point of view as well, as she meets the parents for the first time at the divorce party, and she learns a lot about his life that she had no idea about. I gave this book 3 out of 5. I really enjoyed the 2 timelines and I loved the family dynamics that were in this book. However, I really just had an issue like towards the end. I think it was very hard for this book to be like wrapped up in a neat bow, and it probably is meant to not be like that because life is like complicated and messy. The ending just felt a little lackluster, so I didn't really want to give it a higher rating just because I really liked the build up and all the stuff about the relationships, but it kind of just felt like it fell off towards the end. However, I do think the bulk of the book is really awesome. Those were all the book reviews. If you've read any of those or want to read any of those, let me know. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in another vlog very soon. Bye!